Man finds strange bird. Scientist faints when he discovers what it really is. John was a farmer who lived on the outskirts of a small town. He had always been a nature lover and enjoyed spending his days out in the fields, surrounded by the sights and sounds of the countryside. One day, while he was tending to his crops, he heard a strange noise coming from the nearby trees. He cautiously walked towards the source of the sound and saw a flutter of wings. He thought it was just a regular bird at first, but as he got closer, he realized that this bird was anything but ordinary. The bird's wings were iridescent, shimmering in the sunlight, and it had a peculiar shape that John had never seen before. Hey there, Viral Videos here. Before we go on, like this video, smash the subscribe button and click the notification bell. We post the most beautiful, amazing and scary videos every single day. Let's proceed with the video. John was amazed by the bird's beauty and wondered if he could catch it. He knew that he couldn't let this opportunity slip away. So, he took out his hat and started creeping closer to the bird. The bird was watching him closely, but didn't seem to be afraid. John moved a little closer, but the bird didn't budge. He moved even closer, and before he knew it, he had his hat over the bird, trapping it inside. He was overjoyed and couldn't wait to show the bird to everyone in town. As he was walking towards his house, he noticed that the bird wasn't making any noise. It was as if it was paralyzed or something. He felt a bit worried and hoped that the bird was all right. When he finally reached his house, he carefully took the bird out of his hat and put it in a basket. John decided to take the bird to the local university to show it to some of the experts there. He thought that they would be interested in seeing such a rare and unique bird. He carefully placed the basket in the back of his truck and drove off towards the university. The whole time he was driving, John couldn't stop thinking about the bird. It was unlike anything he had ever seen before, and he wondered what kind of bird it could be. He was also worried about its health, and hoped that it would be all right. As he entered the university, he saw a group of scientists walking by. They looked like they were in a hurry, but he stopped them and asked if they knew anyone who could help him identify the bird. One of the scientists, Dr. Emma, was intrigued by John's story and offered to take a look at the bird. John was relieved and excited to see what Dr. Emma would say. As she lifted the basket, she saw the bird inside and let out a gasp. John was confused and asked if everything was all right. However, Dr. Emma stumbled backward and fainted onto the floor, leaving John bewildered and worried about what had happened. John was panicking as he watched Dr. Emma faint on the floor. He had no idea what was going on, but he knew that something was wrong. He frantically looked around for help, and luckily, a few other scientists were nearby and rushed to Dr. Emma's aid. John was asked to wait outside while the scientists examined Dr. Emma. He was pacing back and forth, worried about what had happened. He had never seen someone faint like that before. After what felt like an eternity, the scientists emerged from the lab and told him that Dr. Emma had regained consciousness and was stable. John was relieved and asked what had happened to Dr. Emma. The scientists told him that they weren't sure, but that she had seen something that had shocked her. They told him that they would need to examine the bird further to find out what had caused such a reaction. John waited anxiously as the scientists took the bird away for examination. He couldn't help but wonder what was so special about the bird that had caused Dr. Emma to faint. He also felt guilty for bringing the bird to the university, not knowing the potential dangers it might have posed. After a few hours, the scientists came back with a report. They told John that the bird was unlike anything they had ever seen before. It had strange, almost metallic feathers, and its wings were not like any bird's wings. They told him that they would need to run some more tests to determine what the bird really was. Days passed as John waited for news on the bird. He couldn't concentrate on anything else. He was so curious to know what had caused Dr. Emma to faint and what kind of bird he had found. Finally, he received a call from the university, asking him to come in for a meeting with Dr. Emma. John was thrilled and immediately made his way to the university. When he entered the lab, Dr. Emma was waiting for him with a serious expression on her face. She told him that the bird was not a bird at all. John was shocked and confused. If it wasn't a bird, then what was it? Dr. Emma explained that the bird was a highly advanced drone, created by a top-secret government agency for surveillance purposes. She told John that the drone was unlike anything she had ever seen before, with advanced technology that was beyond anything in the public domain. John couldn't believe it. He had stumbled upon a government drone by chance, and he felt a mix of excitement and worry. He didn't want to get into any trouble with the government, but he also felt like he had made an amazing discovery. Dr. Emma asked John if he would be willing to let the government retrieve the drone. She told him that it was important that the technology remained confidential and that the drone didn't fall into the wrong hands. John agreed, feeling like he had done the right thing by bringing the drone to the experts. As John left the university, he felt a mix of emotions. He was happy that he had helped uncover such an amazing discovery, but he also felt a bit sad to say goodbye to the strange bird that he had found. He couldn't believe that he had stumbled upon a highly advanced government drone in his fields, and he couldn't wait to see what other surprises nature had in store for him. John couldn't shake off the feeling of excitement as he drove back to his farm. He had discovered a highly advanced government drone in his fields, and he couldn't wait to share his discovery with his friends and family. As he entered his house, he couldn't contain his excitement and immediately told his wife and kids about the strange bird he had found. They were amazed and couldn't believe that their dad had found something so extraordinary. John's friends were equally excited when he told them about his discovery. They asked him if he had taken any pictures or videos of the drone, but John had been too preoccupied with getting it to the university for examination. He decided to go back to the fields and see if he could find any traces of the drone. As he searched the fields, he stumbled upon something else that caught his eye. It was a small metallic object, buried in the soil. He picked it up and examined it closely. It looked like a piece of the drone, but it was smaller and more intricate. John's mind raced with possibilities. If he had found a piece of the drone, then there could be more hidden in the fields. He decided to call the scientists at the university and ask them if they could come and help him search for more pieces. The scientists arrived the next day and began searching the fields with John. As they dug deeper into the soil, they discovered more and more pieces of the drone. It was like piecing together a puzzle, and John was thrilled to be a part of it. After hours of searching, the scientists had collected enough pieces to reconstruct the drone. John watched in amazement as they put the pieces together and formed the body of the drone. But as they worked on the wings, they discovered something even more extraordinary. The wings were not made of any material they had ever seen before. They were made of an unknown metal, with strange markings etched into them. John and the scientists were both excited and frightened by this discovery. What did the markings mean? And how had the government agency managed to create such advanced technology? As they continued to examine the drone, they discovered that it was capable of much more than just surveillance. It had the ability to fly at high speeds, and it was equipped with a range of sensors and cameras that allowed it to capture high-quality footage from the air. John couldn't believe that he had stumbled upon something so advanced in his fields. He felt like he had uncovered a secret that had been hidden away for years. But as he looked at the drone, he couldn't help but wonder what other secrets were still waiting to be uncovered. The scientists at the university were equally excited by the discovery. They told John that the technology in the drone was unlike anything they had ever seen before, and that it would take years of research to fully understand it. They thanked John for bringing the drone to them and promised to keep him updated on any new developments. As John drove back to his farm, he couldn't help but feel a sense of pride. He had discovered something truly amazing, and he couldn't wait to see what other secrets nature had in store for him. Months had passed since John's discovery of the strange bird in his fields. The university scientists had been working tirelessly to analyze the drone and its advanced technology, but they had hit a dead end. They couldn't decipher the strange markings on the wings or figure out how the drone was able to fly at such high speeds. One day, John received a call from one of the scientists at the university. They had made a breakthrough in their research and needed to speak with him immediately. John raced to the university and was ushered into a small room where he was greeted by a group of scientists huddled around a computer screen. "John," said Dr. Collins, the lead scientist on the project, "we've made a remarkable discovery. The markings on the wings of the drone, they're not just random patterns. They're a form of advanced alien language." John's heart skipped a beat. Alien language? It couldn't be. He had never believed in aliens before, but he couldn't deny the evidence in front of him. Dr. Collins continued, "We've been analyzing the language for months, and we've discovered that it contains information about an alien race that has been observing Earth for centuries. They've been keeping tabs on our technological progress, and they're concerned about our potential to cause harm to the universe." John couldn't believe what he was hearing. He had always thought of himself as a rational, level-headed person, but this revelation was shaking the foundations of his beliefs. Dr. Collins turned to John and said, "We need your help, John. We need someone who can take this information to the public and help them understand the implications of this discovery." John didn't know how to respond. He was just a farmer, not a scientist or a spokesperson. But he knew that he couldn't ignore this discovery. He had to do something to help people understand the truth. As he left the university, his mind raced with possibilities. How could he spread the word about this discovery without causing a panic? How could he convince people that aliens were real and that they were watching us? He decided to start small, by telling his friends and family about the discovery. They were shocked but fascinated by the news and urged him to share it with a wider audience. John decided to write a book about his experience, detailing his discovery of the drone and the revelation about the alien language. He poured his heart and soul into the book, hoping to spark a conversation about the existence of extraterrestrial life. The book was a huge success, and John was suddenly thrust into the spotlight as a leading voice in the field of UFO research. He appeared on TV shows and radio programs, sharing his story and spreading the word about the discovery. As the years went by, John's book inspired a generation of people to question the existence of aliens and their intentions towards humanity. He became a hero to many, someone who had the courage to stand up and share the truth with the world. And while the existence of aliens remained a mystery, John knew that he had played a small part in uncovering the secrets of the universe. He looked up at the stars and wondered what other mysteries were waiting to be uncovered. What do you think about this story? Share your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you for watching. See you next time.